Flint Castle, Welsh Castell Flint, located in Flint, Flintshire, was the first of a series of castles built during King Edward I's campaign to conquer Wales. The site was chosen for its strategic position in northeast Wales. The castle was only 1 day's march from Chester. Supplies could be brought along the River Dee, and there was by a ford across to England that could be used at low tide. Building work began in 1277, initially under Richard Lorigenor, who would later become mayor of Chester in 1304. The castle and its earthworks were built by 1,800 labourers and masons using local millstone grit, ashlar and sandstone. James of St. George was assigned ad audiendum opera castorum ibidum mason charged with the design, technical direction and management of the works underway in Wales, including Flint, in April 1278. November 1280 saw the Savoyard master mason James of St. George began directly overseeing construction at Flint for Edward I as the initially very slow construction pace was accelerated. He remained at the castle for 17 months. James of St. George then moved on to Rhuddlan to oversee its completion. When works ceased in 1286, Flint Castle had an inner ward and an outer bailey. They were separated by a tidal moat and were connected with gatehouse and drawbridge. A plantation town was also laid out beyond the outer bailey. The inner ward had 3 large towers and a detached keep. This isolated tower protected the inner gatehouse and outer bailey. In total expenditure, Edward I spent £6,068.70 5d. Creating the fortress and the town, £4.9 million as of 2008. Flint, which was sited on the western shore of the River Dee estuary, could be supplied by River Sea. Its harbour was protected by a defensive wall. The castle lies opposite to the English shore and Shotwick Castle in England. Before the river's course was drastically changed in the 18th century, passage across the estuary at this point could be made directly by boat at high tide or by fording at low tide. Flint Castle in North Wales compared with Chateau Yverdon by Lake Neuchâtel. The keep is an impressive structure. Its stone walls are 7 meters 23 feet thick at the base and 5 meters 16 feet above. Access was gained by crossing a drawbridge into a central entrance chamber on the first floor. Originally there would have been at least one additional story. These floors had small rooms built into the thick walls. A timber gallery was built on top of the keep for the visit of Edward, Prince of Wales in 1301. On the ground floor is a vaulted passage that runs all the way around the inside of the keep. Flint's design was not repeated in any other castle built by Edward I in North Wales. The layout at Flint remains unique within the British Isles. Flint was the first castle of what would later become known as Edward I's Iron Ring, a chain of fortresses designed to encircle North Wales and oppress the Welsh. Its construction began almost immediately after Edward I began the First Welsh War in 1277. 5 years later, Welsh forces under the command of Dafydd ap Gruffydd, brother of Llywelyn ap Gruffydd, besieged the castle in an attempted uprising against the English crown. In 1294, Flint was attacked again during the revolt of Madog ap Llywelyn. This time the constable of the castle was forced to set fire to the fortress to prevent its capture by the Welsh. The castle was later repaired and partly rebuilt. With the conclusion to the Welsh Wars, English settlers and merchants were given property titles in the new town that was laid out in front of the castle. The plantation borough was protected by a defensive ditch with a wooden palisade on earth banking. 10. 11. Its outline remains visible in streets patterns. In 1399, Richard II of England was held by Henry Bolingbroke at Flint before being returned to London.